On August 5, 2026, international border agents stationed at the Piedras Negras bridge, just across the border from Eagle Pass, Texas, flagged down a gray Chevrolet Silverado attempting to re-enter the United States. Behind the wheel sat a 35-year-old American driver. Sitting in the passenger area was his unharmed 3-year-old son. To passing travelers, it looked like a routine customs inspection. But behind the scenes, Mexican federal and state law enforcement were closing in on the subject of an urgent, multi-agency manhunt. The driver was identified as 35-year-old Chad Eberle, an Army veteran and active Texas Reserve police officer. Just hours earlier, back in the city of Saltillo, emergency services had responded to a horrific crime scene inside a home in the Antonio Cardenas neighborhood. 3 family members were dead from gunshot wounds, and the child's 26-year-old mother was fighting for her life in critical care after being shot in the head. When border authorities ran Eberle's details, an active felony warrant flashed across their screens charging him with qualified homicide and attempted femicide. The career of a Texas law enforcement officer had just ended in an international arrest. To understand how an American police officer ended up in a Mexican penitentiary facing decades behind bars, you have to look at the pattern preceding the violence. Eberle had built a career in public safety spanning nearly 8 years across Texas. He had served as a deputy constable in Bexar County, a transit and school officer in San Antonio, and held law enforcement positions in towns like Bangs, Somerset, Marble Falls, Gregory, and Lockney. By late 2025, he was appointed as an unpaid reserve officer for the Santa Ana Police Department, working monthly shifts while on personal leave by mid-2026. Behind the uniform, however, his personal life had taken a dark turn. In 2022, Eberle met 25-year-old Litzy. The couple later had a son together in 2023, but court records and family statements revealed a history of severe domestic disputes. Following a previous incident where Eberle allegedly abducted the young boy without permission, an American court issued a formal protective order barring him from approaching Litzy or taking the child. Despite the active restraining order and explicit legal prohibitions under U.S. domestic violence laws, Eberle packed a .45 caliber handgun into his vehicle and crossed the border into Mexico. In July 2026, Eberle drove Litzy back to her family's home in Saltillo. But on August 4, 2026, tensions over the custody of their 3-year-old child boiled over into irreversible violence. Ana Laura, 44, deceased. Laura Jacqueline, 22, deceased. Emmanuel, 44, deceased. Litzy, 26, critically injured, shot in the head. According to investigators presented in Coahuila State Court, Eberle drew his .45 caliber firearm during the custody argument inside the residence. He opened fire on the family, killing 3 people instantly. Litzy was shot in the head at close range. Believing he had eliminated all witnesses, Eberle snatched his 3-year-old son, climbed into his gray Chevrolet Silverado, and sped away toward the U.S. border. As paramedics rushed Litzy to emergency intensive care, the Coahuila State Attorney General's office activated an emergency manhunt. Recognizing that Eberle would try to leverage his U.S. citizenship and police credentials to escape back into Texas, Mexican authorities alerted every border crossing point along the Rio Grande. When Eberle pulled up to the Piedras Negras checkpoint, state officers and border units surrounded the vehicle, taking him into custody without a shot fired. The 3-year-old boy was found unharmed in the truck. He was immediately taken under the protection of PRONNIF, Coahuila's specialized state agency for children and family protection, to ensure his safety while family members were located. At 9:59 p.m. on August 5, 2026, Coahuila State Attorney General Federico Fernandez confirmed that Chad Eberle was officially remanded to the Saltillo Men's Penitentiary. During his initial court hearing, prosecutors formally charged Eberle with qualified homicide, triple murder, attempted femicide, aggravated assault, and home invasion. The court also highlighted serious questions regarding border security, specifically how an individual with an active U.S. domestic violence restraining order managed to cross an international border carrying a firearm. Back in Texas, city officials in Santa Ana issued a public statement confirming Eberle was an unpaid reserve officer on leave and noted they were fully cooperating with the U.S. consulate and international investigators. How could a sworn police officer with nearly 8 years of law enforcement experience cross an international border to commit a crime like this? Drop your thoughts and verdicts in the comments below. If you want more deep dive true crime breakdowns and case investigations, smash the like button, share this video, and subscribe to Bad Files to help us reach our 10,000 subscriber goal.